So with Thanksgiving around the corner, I figured it would be fun to do a survival video of sorts because I have a feeling many of you are dreading the potential arguments that are going to happen across the dinner table. And if I had to guess, many of those arguments are political in nature, which is so sad to me because it's not like you're inviting these politicians to your Thanksgiving meal. So you guys are arguing about people that don't even know you exist, if we're being totally honest. But I get it. I understand these things happen. And so, like many people, you're probably dreading the arguments that are going to happen. But, well, I mean, I'm excited for food, okay? I love food. Listen, if you want to yell about politics all you want, I'm just going to be there eating my food. Okay. What was that? I don't know what that was. But okay, serious face. How do you That's so stupid. How do you survive Thanksgiving meals when everyone wants to bring up things, specifically politics, when you just want to enjoy time with family? Well, I think that's the first thing, is a lot of people seem to forget that the individual that's sitting across the table is their family, it's their friend. And to allow politics to get in between a friendship or some type of a relationship that you have had for years, I just think it's so stupid. And this is coming from someone that lost probably 90% of my friends when I walked away from the left. And a lot of that was them. They didn't want to be my friend because they equated me to being a fascist and a racist and what have you. With my family in particular, I'm very blessed that although everyone in my family are liberal, they don't treat me like scum. And I know that can't be said for a lot of folks out there. I've heard many stories. I mean, you guys leave it in the comment section all the time of your own mother, your own brother that won't talk to you over politics. And listen, I feel for you guys, I really do. But if given the opportunity to go to Thanksgiving, go, okay? Just because someone else is offended by your politics, that's none of your business. It's none, okay? You can still go, and if they have an issue with you going, that's their issue, that's their problem. But let's assume you actually get there and get to sit down and having your meal, and now here comes the weird conversations about, you know, your Aunt Becky ranting about Trump or something, like something related to conservatism or republicanism. And I say this because very rarely do I hear stories of it happening in the reverse, where it's the conservatives ranting. And I'm sure there are some, but by and large, I would say, again, coming from experience, you tend to find that people, I mean, my own cousin one time was ranting about white supremacy at the dinner table, like out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So very rarely is it like the conservatives, the right-leaning people throwing a fit. It's usually people on the left. And I think that's because in general, I think progressives tend to be more emotional instead of logical. You know, and you can see that in their demeanor. But let me not get too off track. So let's just say, for the sake of the argument, you're enjoying dinner, your Aunt Becky starts saying some stupid things and tries to educate you on some particular topic, and you're trying to bite your tongue like, oh, I just want to enjoy this gravy and this cranberry sauce. How do you navigate that? If you can either say, hey, let's talk about something else. Because I think people forget that's an option. Like, hey, we're not going to see eye to eye. I just want to enjoy time here with family and friends. We don't have to talk about politics. We can talk about something else. And that's totally fine, okay? But if you guys choose to progress the conversation, this is what I would say. Instead of trying to refute every single argument that they're making, and instead of trying to throw facts at them, ask them questions. And I have 3 questions that work like a charm, okay? First question is, what do you mean by that? Second question is, how did you come to that conclusion? Third question is, what evidence do you have to support that? Again, it's silly because it's like, why are we debating over Thanksgiving? But I would say these 3 questions are a gold mine, because oftentimes you will realize after asking these questions that the people who are espousing nonsense don't actually know what they're saying. You know, we live in a society of slogan swallowers. Okay, so they hear a phrase, they hear a slogan, and they repeat it, but they don't actually dissect it and understand what it is, you know? And this is a very common thing that I see, and this is coming from experience. I was a slogan swallower. That sounds terrible, but it's true. It's true. So what do you mean by that? What do you mean conservatives are racist? How did you come to that conclusion? Give me an example. What evidence do you have to support that? You know, and just continue to ask questions. Now, you may get a response of like scoffing, like, oh, you don't know? I have to explain it to you. And that's just them trying to distract you from the fact that they weren't prepared. And that's fine, okay? Again, the goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to allow them time to simmer with their thoughts. Let them simmer. And they might be simmering for months, okay? You might not even get to the crux of the matter during Thanksgiving dinner, but at least you set the ball in motion and you're giving them that opportunity to reflect and say, do I actually know what the hell I'm talking about? You know, but yeah, so those are the 3 questions. What do you mean by that? How did you come to that conclusion? What evidence do you have to support that claim? And again, if it goes off the rails, just say, hey, listen, I know you're upset. I love you. I disagree, but I just want to enjoy dinner. Okay, we can talk about this some other time. It's totally fine. And if they're still throwing a fit, you know what? Enjoy your meal and get the hell out of there. That's what I would say to you. But yeah, guys, I hope you have a safe Thanksgiving gathering. I hope it is blessed. I hope that it doesn't turn into a crazy argument. And if you guys have a suggestion for a future video, or maybe you'd like my advice on a particular topic, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you guys. But until next time, my name is Vanessa. You may know me as Gothix, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.